Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back with your first video blog of the day for August 4th, 2014, Monday morning around 9:03 a.m. in Boston, Massachusetts. The sun's trying to break through the clouds. Going to be in the 80s, a little bit more humid, maybe a chance of some thunder showers today. Some news to report. The Boston Red Sox lost to the New York Yankees by a score of 8-7. The Bronx Bombers took 2 out of 3 from their rivals, the Red Sox. And also, the Green Bay Packers are going to retire Brett Favre's number 4 finally next season, and they're going to be putting him in the Packers Hall of Fame. And happy Coast Guard Day in the United States, and happy Pacific Holiday for my friends in Canada. Most parts of Canada celebrated, and it's also the President of the United States, Barack Obama's 53rd birthday, and it's also Roger Clemens' 52nd birthday. Okay, my first subject of the day is about the 10 greatest players in Detroit Red Wings history. Detroit Red Wings is another one of the original 6 teams. They came into the NHL in the 1926-1927 season. For the first couple of years, they were named the Cougars. Then they got renamed the Falcons in 1930, and by 1932, they were renamed the Red Wings, and they've been the Red Wings ever since. The Red Wings won 11 Stanley Cups, and they're one of the most successful franchises in NHL history in the original 6 era. In the 40s and 50s, they were a strong team. By like the late 60s through the early 80s, they were one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League, mainly finishing close to last every single year, maybe only making a few playoff appearances ever since in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But they bounced back in the 80s, and they have been making the playoffs every year since 1991. And they've had an amazing run of winning 4 Stanley Cups since 1991. And here's the 10 greatest players in Red Wings history, in my opinion. I had to leave some great names off here, like Brendan Shanahan and Chris Osgood, because they were good, but they couldn't make this list. The number 10 player on this list is Ted Lindsay. Ted Lindsay played for the Red Wings in the 40s and the 50s. He scored over 300 goals for the Red Wings. He won a few Stanley Cups for them. He started the NHL Players Association back in the mid-50s. He had to be traded to Chicago. Actually, he retired with Chicago, but he came back to play for the Red Wings to end his career. His number 7's retired by the team. The 9th greatest Red Wing player of all time was Norm Ullman. He played for the Red Wings for 12 years, first 12 years of his NHL career. He was a very underrated player, but he scored over 300 goals in a Red Wings uniform, but he never won the Stanley Cup with them. But he was one of the most underrated players in the NHL history. He's a Hockey Hall of Famer. The number 8 greatest Red Wings of all time is Sergei Fedorov. Fedorov played for the Red Wings for about 12 years. He won the 1994 NHL MVP, first European-born player to win the most valuable player in the NHL. He scored 400 goals and 955 points with the team during his tenure with the team. He's one of the best. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame soon. The Red Wings are going to retire his number 91 when he goes into the Hall of Fame. I guarantee you that. The number 7th greatest Red Wing player of all time is Henrik Zetterberg, the current captain of the Red Wings. He won a Stanley Cup for them. He's in the top 10 all time for the Red Wings in scoring, and he's going to probably be moving up the list of greatest Red Wings players in due time, I think. The number 6 player of all time of the Detroit Red Wings is Alex Delvecchio. Delvecchio spent his entire career with the Red Wings, 21 seasons. He was a captain towards the end. He scored 456 goals and over 1,200 points during his tenure with the Red Wings. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. The number 5 greatest Red Wing player of all time was goaltender Terry Sawchuk. Sawchuk was the best franchise goaltender in Red Wings history. He was a shutout goaltender. He led the Red Wings to several Stanley Cups. His number 1's retired by the Red Wings. He's the best goaltender in Red Wings history. The number 4 all-time Red Wing player of all time is Pavel Datsyuk. Datsyuk is like in the top 6 of all-time scoring for the Red Wings. He's won several Lady Bean awards for most gentlemanly player in the NHL. 2-time Stanley Cup winner. He's getting to be like a great leader. He's an alternate captain for the Red Wings, and he's the 4th greatest Red Wing player of all time. The number 3 greatest Red Wing player of all time, Nicholas Lindstrom. Nicholas Lindstrom won 7 Norris trophies during his tenure with the Red Wings. The all-time leading scorer in for all Red Wing defensemen. He's the first European captain to lead an NHL team to the Stanley Cup championship in 2008. The best European defenseman of all time. Number 5 retired by the Red Wings recently. First ballot Hockey Hall of Famer next year, Nicholas Lindstrom. The number 2 greatest Red Wing player of all time, Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman played 22 seasons in the NHL. He was captain of the Red Wings at the age of 21. Steve Yzerman, the franchise savior for the Red Wings, because before Steve Yzerman got there, the Red Wings were in a very down period for about 15 years. But he came at the right time. He probably he was the best. He was the franchise savior of the Red Wings during this period. He led the Red Wings back to the promised land, winning 3 Stanley Cups. Second all-time leading goal scorer in Red Wings history with 694. And the number 1 best Red Wings player of all time is Mr. Hockey himself, Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe, one of the best players in NHL history. He scored 786 goals with the Red Wings and over 1,800 points. He's the best Red Wing player of all time. Mr. Hockey himself, Gordie Howe. You can't argue about that. Number 9's hanging up in the rafters at the Joe Louis Arena because of Mr. Gordie Howe. 25 seasons he played for the Red Wings, and his stats are unbelievable. Well, that's about it for that blog. I'll be back later on in the day with another one of these blogs. And the next one in my series for the original 6 hockey teams for the top 10 best players of all time are the New York Rangers, okay? Have a good day, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. See you later.